Welcome to Warblog. This is the quick game. I did a random game, so I can do this randomly, but it's sort of messed up, and there's actually some I've noticed. I'm not going to mention it. It's in all the mechanics. Just a small error, but I noticed it before. So I started the game, so I now know this is the one I want to do. Last time I failed, but my attack was to have two things coming on here. But what I'm going to do this time, succeeded. Depression is 3. Failed. Succeeded, seems like I it's through. Yes. So we just use car bombs and IEDs and things like that. These insurgent units. And what I'm going to do, I'll put them there. Use both of them. Hopefully, we won't get an exchange. So this will be like 5 to 1 or more. Okay, so we routed. So even being able to move into there and then to attack into here. Now I didn't do this do it like this last time. Oh, got DR. That's interesting. What I did last time, I just did one attack into there and one attack into there. I didn't do 2 on that and then 2 on that. I could possibly put him in there. Move him up to take the flak. So these two have got to take care of this guy. There's some rockets here. Oh, I did 0.3 last time. Okay, I use my anti-tank on this, although it's really not ideal. 0.8. So we use one of those sort of guided missiles on one of their trucks or something. It's their guard tower. Okay. It's still tough in there, but 1 to 1 in exchange. Okay. Right. Well, I think the first thing to do is to use one of these guys into there. We'll keep that line like that. We'll use everything else. Down here. DR. And I think we can attack out, or at least push these guys back. Okay. Well, insurgent units need to pull back. Two 2.8.4, so let's go for that 2.81. They're going to be worth like 16. We have to do an attrition. And here, I guess we can maybe try and do some damage against that. Prussian 5, we might be able to actually destroy it. DR. Okay. Well, they're going to hold strong, but we can push this unit back, perhaps. So we're going to hold that line. This line's a bit crappy, but possibly get this around and push these back. In the same direction. So push them back as well. And they both go in the same direction. Okay. So on turn 3. The reason I'm playing this game because my main computer about an hour ago now went into update mode. Against my will, all I did was go and have a cup of tea and came back and it was updating. I just caught it just as it was updating. So I sat at this computer looking at some videos and I thought I'll do one, and I did one and it wasn't right, so I started again. So I knew this was the random game I was going to play. But it's still updating. Working on updates, 79% don't turn off your computer, this will take a while. I really don't like that, because I was in the middle of something and I'm actually quite busy. So, and I played an entire game. It was only 10 minutes, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this. I don't want to play it anymore, not because I don't want to play, but what I'm going to do is, because I think we've been beaten back there and we haven't won there. So I'm going to push back to here, like that. And I'm going to keep the ground there. So I don't think they're really going to counterattack against either of these, but we can really counterattack there. So, I think it's an interesting game. I can't remember what the historic reference to it was, or significance, but I think strategically you need to take all these out quickly, and I think that this one is the key. So if we were to play that again, which I'm sort of tempted to do, I think we need to take this out. Because we can take these, but we'd ideally need some big units to sort of support that. So let me just play it again. We've still got this 79% update that I'm waiting for. Right, so the same situation. Move him there. And move him to face that. And bring him in here. And this unit's going to go there. Bring him here and him here. And it keeps that line. I'm not going to bother with this yet. Or am I? I think I will. Because I sort of did this partially last time. I'll do it this way. 5 to 1. And that's good. I might move these both into there, but before I do that, I'm going to reconsider what we've got going on here. So rockets first. Route 4. %, complete. What's this guy on? 3.4. So I'm tempted to bring him into here. 10, 13, 14, he had 8, so that's a 1 to 1. We've got this anti-tank to fire, and also, what I did last time, I brought the insurgents up onto here, but this time I'm going to actually bring them this way. Succeeded, so that should be 3 depressions. I think, to be quite honest, that is probably why those insurgents are there. Failed. It was not caught. I needed this one to work, and I've got some good odds. Succeeded, yeah, so that should be 6 now, 6 depressions. 6.4, so we've got this, which is like one of those anti-tank things, probably firing at some sort of heavy machine gun on the back of a pickup truck. 0.1. So, they're at 50%, so I think I'm not going to push him this way to pound into that. Although I had to think about it. I hope it's not I'm going to regret that. 7 to 1. Right. So, pushing into there. Let's just move these out of the way for the time being. Okay. I'd like to face that off. We sort of some movement here. Possibly like that. .2. 2 to 1 against that. It's a bit of a risk. But eventually been gained. This is very different to the earlier one. We've got the base, which means they're going to be tough to get out. Especially if I can get this some company in there. So, slightly different situation. Now they might have to commit this in some way. We've got this here. Now last time we brought this down to clear these places. But I think we're going to have to sort of just use this to clear that, which isn't going to be that bad, but this is like at 60%. We've really only got this unit, but they are only a 2 value that's stacked up together, possibly reinforced by that. With this, we really want to bring it down to sort of try and take that. So if we move that there, and that there, that keeps that line. Let's see how luck is going to go. Each one of the DR. Okay, we'll leave the industrial zone as it is. So they're going to be worth probably about 6 in there. They'll be worth 10, 12, so 2 to 1. We'll put it this way. If we don't do it now, we won't be able to. I'm guessing this will be a 2 to 1. But only in exchange. We'll probably be able to take this industrial zone next anyway. So, different strategy, different tactics, different approach, different result. We can hold this and now start swinging everything around to take these units. doing some damage here to that, because at depression 1, that's a bit of an exchange. One of these is at 6. So we'll get this guy in there. So I want to bring one of these, something around here. If I had rockets on that, I might be able to get rid of one of these units. I think I will. Let's try that. A 10% chance of routing at least. 1.2. 7.2, so I guess we can go in there and try again. 3 to 1. And we routed that unit, pushed him back. That's interesting because it was an exchange, but that unit routed, so we got what we wanted. And that's the rockets used. We used some anti-tank on this anti-tank unit here, on this mechanized unit. Nothing. So we should be able to get a 3 to 1. Ooh! Got a DE and he was eliminated. Well, that changes things. That changes things a lot. All this extra movement still available. This is very different to the previous game. Five to 1 and a DR. Well, I think we can afford to now commit this flank a little more earnest. So we get 5 to 1. We eliminated him. Well, that is very different. So now they've got to consider the bigger picture now. So something you can double down on. So you could possibly push these guys back quite quickly. I think we're going to have to. You should get good odds. Not really, 2 to 1. Oh, what do we want to do here? Not really any choice. Got to put some pressure on here. DR. Follow through on one of these. Even pushing into this. DE. DR. So we're pushing both back. And we've got there 2 motorised units. Possibly have a 2 to 1 against that, but it's hardly worth it. The only thing we probably possibly do is move them both into there, setting them up for a massive attack next turn, well not against ISIS, but pushing this unit back. I think we've got to keep the offensive going. We're tentatively keeping that line, but they're not going to survive. We're going to have to pull back next turn. Yes, the ISIS attacks are terrible, but he's under pressure 7, he's under pressure 4. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to stabilise that front and call it a day, because my computer has just finished updating. I mean, I could push this further, and just because they can, I think that to some extent, when you do the role-play element of these games, you've got to sort of consider you know, I mean, there's a lot. They've been heavily punished here. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. I mean, they're all in good order, so I think possibly we could probably leave these 2 units, bring him up, commit these 2 units in this direction, push the rockets over, so we want to attack that from here, continue against that, so rockets here, and ooh, yeah, I wasn't thinking. These are not irregulars. So this line's looking a little hammered. We might be able to destroy this unit. Routed. DR. We almost afford to come out of there now. I'm not going to. And 6. Yeah, they're both over half, so equivalent of only 1 unit. And exchange. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. On the SDF turn, we're definitely going to pull back into these two areas here. We could counter-attack here, but no, I'm not going to do that. And then I'm going to say that the ISIS player is going to essentially consolidate on that position. So you could sort of say the line is here, so push that way. I mean, obviously I know that I could probably Okay, we can do that. And there's their line width. Mouse, it's weird. So we've got that sort of line. But we could probably push all this against it. And the reason I'm not is because we know we've got this on 6 depressions now. We've got a fresh unit there, but he's on 6. This guy's on 3. This guy is on 3, and this guy's on 3 because they did an attack of retreat. So they're all at least 3, all of them. With one of them being on 6. Now, although all this is fresh, I think because we've taken so much damage here and had an attack of retreat, I think that we're going to sort of hold on that. You know, just for the reasons I've sort of mentioned there. I don't really like necessarily always playing it to the bitter end, because we can clearly see that we've probably moved enough here. But it gets a bit silly after that, because that's not how these things sort of happen. They quite often, after some significant engagement, will just stop. Well, we could have carried on, but you know, they're doing things like they're consolidating, regrouping, rearming, you know, resupplying, you know, securing gains. You know, there could be very well sort of dealing with the losses here and regrouping here, and you know, just trying to determine what they're up against, because they don't always know what they're up against, you know. I mean, just because we've got counters here and we can see it all, it's sort of what we call God vision or battlefield vision. You don't necessarily always know that. No, I mean, I've no plans to introduce hidden movement or those sorts of forms of war type things, but we can roleplay them, and that's what I'm sort of doing here. I think it's a good time to sort of, you know, just call it on that. But I think that was interesting, and it was definitely interesting in comparison to the first one, which I sort of didn't do so well, and I played it before as well, and I didn't do so well on that. And I think the significant difference was that I got the base first, because if you don't get the base straight away, the SDF player just puts one more unit in it, and it's invincible, and then everything else then just sits and defends around here, which can make it quite difficult. So it's a sort of interesting game in the sense that it can go both ways, and I think it's like a chess game. Quite a lot of them are. You sort of think, well, is it possible for this player to always win? And I think it is, because I think if you use those insurgents, because I used the insurgents over here because I thought this would be quite easy. I thought if I just get a 2-to-1, it would just be a 2-to-1 roll, and I think it was. But the thing is, if you fail on that 2-to-1 twice, which isn't that difficult to do, you're never going to get it. Bringing the insurgents over here didn't do a lot. It helped me take these out on the first turn, but I could have probably taken them out on the first turn with 2 units anyway, because I've got 1 unit there and 1 unit there. And when I put my insurgent there and there, I can do a 2 to 1 there, move into there, 2 to 1 there, or 2 units to 1, so it's a 5 to 1, so 2 lots of 5 to 1, so that's probably enough. So on the first turn, the ISIS player probably always take the base and that, depending on how they roll, because they've got to get good insurgent rolls. They've got the rockets, and if they do well on that, and the anti-tank and do well on that, they can pretty much guarantee it. But they can fail on the rockets, the insurgents, and the anti-tank, quite regularly. So once you've sort of got the mechanics in mind, you sort of think, well, it's going to be the same sort of dice roll. It's a crap roll on the sense that it's always going to come down to what the scores are on those things on each play. But it's interesting because there are those two strategies, two approaches to it. Maybe there's another way of doing it, but yeah. Well, I'll leave it at that, and I can now go back and use my other computer, and I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.